We're going to find out what's happening in game number 3, though. Have either of these guys adapted to it? Is Muzzy still going to get the better of it? Because RDU's got to turn the series around. He cannot let another bad matchup happen.
Yeah, and if we see Muzzy win this, we get our second straight sweep of the night.
Yep, he's got Druid here, and RDU's bringing Hunter, and so that's a mid-range Hunter as well. Web Spinner, very indicative of that.
Yeah, you see Web Spinner and Savannah high main. He's got some longer games in mind. He's going to be able to go toe-to-toe with Muzzy, hopefully here in this match for him. Now, Muzzy's going to keep both of his removal spells in his opening hand. He's been doing some great stuff with Druid so far here in HPL. Just frankly, everyone has.
Yeah, I mean, this opening hand is really no exception to that. Understands the importance of being able to remove the early game minions and be able to scale to your late game threats. I mean, this is a spot where if RDU really can't find a way to contest the Ancient of War extremely well, that's Muzzy's recovery point.
Yeah, and you may see Muzzy actually just hold on to this Innervate.
Well,
he just drew a Keeper of the Grove. Innervate, that's why Muzzy's making this face now. He's like getting, not face, but just getting serious about his thoughts here, because he was going to hold the Innervate for the Ancient of War, but Innervate into Keeper of the Grove in this matchup is backbreaking.
Yeah, it can just absolutely swing this entire matchup around, but he's got a lot of things to think about too. I mean, he does have Swipe to deal with things. He does have Wrath to deal with things. He does have Force of Nature, which frankly does a good job at clearing out Knife Juggler and then other minor threats as well. But I can't blame him for playing Keeper of the Grove here. It's so strong in this position. The thing that you're really weakest to is Animal Companion. Is Eagle Horn Bow, but Animal Companion also a little bit weak to this too. So I can kind of see both sides of this.
Yeah, I love this play from Muzzy. I would have made the same one myself. The Captain's Parrot, not what RD wanted to see, and great draw here for Muzzy.
Yeah, the fact that he shut off Mad Scientist, that's part of what makes this such a strong draw, because Freezing Trap against this deck can throw off the entire tempo of the game and keep it on the Hunter's favor here. But now that this board position is happening, Muzzy looks like he's going to be able to run away with this game.
It's possible. RDU, though, he has a pretty good hand going for him. He has 2 Savannah high mains, so he can make this game a little bit good after this, but this swipe is going to be amazing this turn.
Yeah, the big story about this is that his turn 5 is ugly right now. He's got no action. So if he doesn't pick up something big off the Web Spinner, this game could be just absolutely in Muzzy's favor.
Now, last turn from RDU, would you have liked to see maybe only one of the minions played in the hero power we've done?
No, I don't think so at all. I think he's just got to play to his strength in this game, which is if Muzzy doesn't have the right cards, you can start running away with the game. The Freezing Trap is picked up, so I think that's a strong draw from him. I think a threat would have been better, but look at the bright side of things. You got 2 Savannah high mains coming.
Yeah, he did pick up a threat from his Web Spinner, but it's another 6-drop, and it's something he's never going to want to play ahead of a Savannah high main.
Yep, and Muzzy can just set this other Shade of Naxxramas and set up, set up the Freezing Trap to be popped by the one that came into play after the other one.
Love the sequencing from Muzzy as well. He's going to check for Explosive Trap first.
Yep. Good stuff from him. RDU finally getting his big threat on the board. The Beast also, this is not a strong threat. I mean, if this gets big game 100, the game is, just quite literally over. So that's the situation he wants to avoid, and Muzzy picks up Harrison Jones. He's going to be able to get 2 cards off of this.
Yeah, what Muzzy can do here is he can attack, trigger the Freezing Trap, and then Harrison Jones afterwards to draw 2 cards because he's going to add a durability to this weapon here.
This is looking beautiful for Muzzy. I mean, he checked the early game extremely well. That Keeper of the Grove, so vital to this game.
Looks like he's just going to Ancient of War here.
I'm a little bit surprised by this, honestly, but sort of what this is telling me is that he doesn't believe that RDU is going to be using his weapon at all this turn, and so just going to try to wait for even more favorable positions to get this Harrison Jones down. Because if he waits till turn 7, it is a little bit cleaner. He gets to add in the Wrath to go along with this, but now he's facing down a major board position, so it is a little bit of a blessing that he got this Ancient of War in play. I mean, he's looking turns and turns ahead right now.
Yeah, great play here from Muzzy. RDU just going to have to play another Savannah high main and think about, do I attack here?
It's pretty tough to not attack, but at the same time, it's also difficult to just sacrifice the first half of the Savannah high main. Could still draw Ironbeak Owl, could draw Hunter's Mark. Those are things he's thinking about.
Yeah, if he has cards like Hunter's Mark in his deck, you got to believe that it's in there. They've been in this deck a lot lately.
Yeah, but now every single turn that this goes on and Muzzy just fortifies his board position, it's looking more and more dangerous. I mean, he's getting close to lethal damage here.
Yeah, I was supposed to say, I was just started counting it up. He's got Savage Roar and Force of Nature. He probably knows this is Freezing Trap, so he's going to check for this soon. But within the next turn or two, he could easily kill RDU.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I imagine the Harrison Jones is going to be happening this turn.
Yeah, I think it's going to be something like Harrison Jones and, a hero power here after you're checking, with the Shade. And then next turn he has Druid of the Claw, Savage Roar.
Yeah, or if he picks up an Innervate off the Harrison Jones. I mean, he's going to have 3 draws to get an Innervate and end this game.
Yeah, this is the nightmare here for RDU. It looks like Muzzy is poised to get our second straight sweep of the night.
With 2 Savage Roars in hand. I mean, I'm going upstairs with this 11 points of damage.
Yeah, you've got to go upstairs here. You've got to get busy. There's no way RDU can do 24 to you on
Yeah,
this
I mean,
turn.
even if he has silence and wants to swing at your face, then you have double Savage Order to just blow him out. So he's actually turned the corner at this point. He's the one in the driver's seat. RDU needs a miracle right here.
I mean, what could he even draw? There's the Iron Beak Owl.
That could be a start. But, I mean, look, he's got 2 different targets with this. He will be able to actually offset the board, too, believe it or not.
Yeah, I was going to say, with this Iron Beak Owl, he's able to take out a Shade and take out a Harrison Jones. That's if he fears, getting lethal next turn. And he hasn't unleashed the Hound, so he can actually push for some damage this turn as well.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's going to do. Chew out 5 of his health, remove Taunt, be able to run
the
over
Kill
the
Command's
Shade.
going to clean up this entire board here as well. Great turn for you. You're going to turn this game around.
I mean, how much better could it have been? I mean, Hunter's Mark, I guess, would have been a slightly better draw, but things looking pretty darn good for him, no matter how you sliced it.
Unbelievable turn.
He's not going to kill Harrison Jones, though. That's game over. Muzzy just won the game. He needed to kill that Harrison Jones to stay in it. RDU disrespects the possibility of damage from Muzzy's hand. I mean, if he traded in this spot, it looked like he had the game pretty darn close to over.
Yeah, how do you not just play around this? It's the only way you lose from here.
This is, I mean, that's honestly sort of that's a weird play from here, because all he's got to do is not to use the Unleash the Hounds and instead Hero Power or Quick Shot and just run his other Savannah Highmane into the Harrison Jones. He sets himself up in spots where Force of Nature can turn the game back around, but that's better than just outright losing.
Yeah, I'm flabbergasted. Like, how do you not trade there?
I don't know. I think that was a little bit unconventional from RDU. Muzzy had clearly taken an aggressive stance. He wasn't trading with your minions in a spot where he's pushing for damage. Instead, it's very clear that he's got damage.